Okay. Looks like everything is set up. Right now I've got just rotating pictures of your characters. Eventually those are going to be character cards on the stream. Also for your names, I just put like shorthands of everything. If anybody wants to like have an official screen name on there, if you stream or something like that, like even like the third flash, I put it to flash for now on there just to save space and so that it's all uniform and looks nice. But once you start streaming again, I can adjust it if needed, and of course, your links will always go in the description below when people are watching on the YouTube. Um, Welcome everyone. Um, Ellie, what I'm going to get you to do is when you are not talking, mute the Discord mic so that it's not picking me up because I'm getting feedback. Okay. Um, little housekeeping before we get started. This is the first session, so everybody make sure that you have an inspiration on your character sheet. You'll see that right beside your little picture on your character sheet is a little die. When you click on it, it will start to glow, and that means that you have inspiration. If you'll remember from the house rules, you can not only use inspiration for yourself to make a reroll, but you can also give that to one of your compatriots to give them a reroll if needed instead. You can go ahead and add 10 points to your points card to start. We won't do a buy-in for charms today. We'll start doing that starting session 2. Today we're going to get right into the story. And we open... We open with our heroes riding on a ship, riding the ship on the gentle sea, headed north to the continent of Ethereos. Your eccentric captain, Barnabas, sings a strange sea shanty, though whatever language it is in is unknown to you. Um, your slimes that you have only recently acquired and woken up all kind of sit in a row, dancing along to the sea shanty in one of the little lifeboats on the ship. Um, and as the waves crash against the ship, it takes you back to the moment you met your team. And even kind of before then, we're going to go around and I'll get you to describe your characters. And you can tell me not just about your character, but what brought you to the cleaning crew. So where did you fail? What guild did you try to get into first? And how did you end up getting to a guild that accepts everyone? We're going to start with you, Nerissa. Make sure you unmute.
Sorry. So I am Nerissa Coralstorm. I am currently on the run from the law as an eco-terrorist. I am a mermaid from the depths of the ocean. What spawned me on my journey of eco-activism, as I prefer to call it, the government. My village was decimated by pollution from an offshore oil rig. And I lost my whole family to an awful just oil spill. And I vowed to seek revenge, not only for my family, but for the rest of the ocean that was being polluted, and one that was. And so I blew up the oil rig and got in a bit of trouble, and I'm on the because of that. And because I'm on the nobody else. until I found my way to your ship.
Oh. So, how did you find your? So the ship comes later, but how did you find yourself in the? Everybody, all of you, as a basis, are in a guild called the Cleaning Crew. Um, you would have joined this guild because you couldn't get in somewhere else. So, did you go to the Cleaning Crew right away, or did you try to join a different guild first? Maybe based on your class, or maybe based on something you were trying to get into. There's kind of like a guild for everything. So, where did you try to get in first? Where did that fail where you had to find yourself at the Cleaning Crew? Or, because of your circumstance, did you find yourself at the Cleaning Crew first trying to get in there?
The Cleaning Crew was the first guild that I really came upon while on the run. Up until then, I was just kind of a lone ranger, just out for revenge against Russian.
Okay, so maybe it's just like a natural fit to find yourself, amongst a group of misfits.
Well, most people that I encountered shunned me on account of the fact that I couldn't really get around on land very easily. So that is
Mm-hmm. And so that resulted in you making your scooter. Did you make it, or did you like have somebody help you make it?
I cobbled together as a beginning level artificer a fish tank that's essentially on wagon wheels.
Okay, okay. Like just a giant fishbowl on wagon wheels.
Yeah, like imagine somebody who's like really into keeping tropical fish. They had a fish tank on like a fancy yacht because they were a rich person who kept tropical fish, and then their yacht crashed and it became like ocean pollution. And I was like, I'm gonna take this giant fish tank that's like bathtub sized and put some wheels.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, you would have been welcomed with open arms in the Cleaning Crew, especially like it's a group of weirdos. Um, and as a new recruit, you probably would have been like stuffed into like the dorms, as opposed to like a hotel or something, or not a hotel, but like an inn or something along those lines. They would have found like a place for you right away. So a little place that you can hide. Um, what about you, Jesus? Tell us a little bit about yourself, and also tell us how you found your way to the Cleaning Crew.
But I'm a escaped mental patient who actually believes he's the son of God, but he severely misunderstands the second coming of Jesus and tries sleeping with everyone he meets, trying to save them. Um, he got kicked out of the Mages Guild because he tried baptizing somebody with mayonnaise from an alchemy jug. While he was being kicked out, while he was being kicked out, he was being told how much he needs to clean up his life. And while he was leaving, he found a flyer for the cleaning crew, and he saw that as a sign from God. This is where he's meant to be.
Yeah, yeah. Surprisingly, not the first strange. What's the word for it? Eccentric person that would have found their way to the doors of the Cleaning Crew. You find that uh, Arturo Clean, or Guildmaster Clean, is very welcoming, and understanding, and almost like understanding of your pursuit to um I'm blanking on kind of like the phrase to use for it, but like your pursuit of your religion, basically. As crazy as it sounds, and as you know, of anybody who you've already met at the Cleaning Crew, he has never been the one to give a dirty look for anything that you have said, and maybe it makes you feel a little bit less crazy.
Yeah, that definitely makes me feel a little less crazy.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Erryn?
Okay. Um, so Erryn is a diplomat from a family of diplomats. Um, her and so her grandparents, her parents, everybody in her family, um, that's what they do. And she is still learning, um, and she's supposed to like all of the like fledgling, not quite there diplomats are supposed to get in with different guilds so they can represent them or have their back or things like that. Um, but because Erryn sort of has trouble with her magic, they assigned her to the cleaning crew because I mean they said it was a good fit, but it's probably just a punishment because she's wild and they're not that appreciative of it. And so that is where she is.
Wonderful. So again, from a diplomatic standpoint, I think the cleaning crew, as zany as it seems, they are also kind of in their hands everywhere. They're kind of the everyman where they'll take any job, and so they work with other like closely with other guilds. And even like the head like guild masters seem to be on really good terms with the cleaning crew in spite of the work that they do. Um, Brunk, lastly, you. Go ahead, describe your character, tell us a little bit about yourself, and how you found your way to the cleaning crew.
Well, Brunk is a beautiful physical specimen. His skin is bronzed by the sun and with a combination of special oils. His hair is golden blonde and his eyes are sky blue when they're not glowing because of his Asmar heritage. He is tall, muscular, and nearly perfect. Brunk, son of Stronk, was once a participant in the Olympic Games as a member of the Church of Cord. Unfortunately, he threw out his back in the discus event in last games 3 years ago and was eventually kicked off of Cord's Olympic team and then was kicked out of the fitness guild when it was discovered he was practicing yoga. He needed work, and the cleaning guild was hiring.
Wonderful. Um, Seeming very capable as well. There is no question of having you along. We actually fade kind of to a memory of you all gathering in the guild hall. Um, the bald-headed man you know as Guildmaster Clean stands before all of you in a small, dimly lit room. Show him off here. Beside him, boots on a beautiful stone table in front of you, is a strange-looking man in a red jacket, fiddling with his beard. As he's kind of like twirling it, normally you'd twirl your hair or your beard and you'd have to like release it to pull your finger away. He just kind of pulls his finger through and it like goes through like as if he was like sifting his finger through clouds. He seems fairly distracted, but half paying attention as Guildmaster Clean addresses you. All of you individually looking around the room see that there are some strange folk beside you. A big man with like glowing eyes, a fish woman in some kind of tank enclosure on what appears to be like a wagon. A man with strange like beady eyes, I'd imagine probably kind of like looking around, maybe talking to nothing once in a while. If I understand your character correctly, Jesus. Maybe a little erratic, probably not sitting still. And of course, maybe Erryn, I'd imagine you're probably straight-laced, kind of like observing, but not really making much. What is the word for it? Not emoting. as much, trying not to give too much away, keeping things close to your chest, right, as a diplomat would. The guildmaster looks at all of you and says, "Welcome, new recruits, to the cleaning crew. I've gathered you here because I think your particular skills are perfect for an expedition that I have planned. You will be led by our resident ship captain, Barnabas Jones." The captain looks up for the first time and actually meets eyes with you. Those observing closely enough at the sword at his side can see that it almost like thrums with a little bit of magic. Barnabas reaches first into one pocket in his jacket and pulls out what appears to be like a little bubble container with like a bubble wand that he pulls out and just kind of like blows bubbles all over the place. It's like, "I'm so happy for a new crew for a new adventure." Reaches into another pocket and pulls out like a handful of candy and reaches out to you and says, "Anybody like hard candy, saltwater taffy?"
I would love a saltwater taffy.
Any chance you got any butterscotch?
He like roots through. He hands you Nerissa a saltwater taffy. Kind of roots through. He's like, "I've got no butterscotch, but how about caramel?"
That'll do.
Hands you like a little caramel.
Thank you, sir.
Takes the rest of the handful of candy and just shoves it all in his mouth. And like starts chewing in a way that like you can see that all this like soft candy, like all the saltwater taffy is now like sticking his teeth together to the point where it looks like a mouth guard in his mouth.
Were there any wrappers on any of that candy?
All of it.
I slowly and politely unwrap my single piece of saltwater taffy and just without like looking away out of fear, eat my single piece.
I feel like it would be improper to not follow my host's mannerisms here, and I'll throw the entire piece, wrapper and all, in my mouth.
Wonderful. Yeah, you squish the caramel through the wrapper. It's not pleasant. We all know that it is not a pleasant experience.
I'll eventually take the wrapper out, sneakily, sneak it out of my mouth.
But both of you go ahead and add. Give yourself 7 temporary hit points. How you'll do that on your character sheet under your health bar, you'll see that it says temp or max. You're just going to put 7 into your temp. And it should give you those temporary hit points. Maybe, possibly. If it doesn't, you can hit the little cog and just put 7 into your temp max HP. Oh, no, that's wrong. The first one is right. It should work. Theoretically.
One on the left, yeah.
Yeah. You eat the candy and it makes you feel kind of better. Like, it makes you feel really good. You feel like this magical warmth that kind of flows through you as you're chewing on it. His mouth's still, like, full of this candy. He just, like, puts this, like, big shit-eating grin on his face. For the first time, you look down and you see his little slime cube, Mirabelle. Looks like a little slime-shaped chicken. Or, like, a chicken... Like, it's got the little, like, quaff, but it's also made of, like, slime. Just kind of waddles around on the table, kind of like walks up his leg and like goes onto his shoulder and just kind of rests there. Clean looks and he says, all of you will have slimes assigned to you. I didn't think about the fact that you were all going to be here first. So all of your things have already been sent to the ship, along with you'll see like a little button. It is not candy. It looks like kind of like a jelly candy. It is not candy. That is your slime. Press your thumb onto that, and you will get your slime companion. This journey is going to be arduous. The northern continent of Ethereos is mostly covered by a magical barrier that was created during a war a long, long time ago. We'll be sending you to the continent to investigate the barrier, and if possible, to reconnect with its people, so that we can find out their situation, make sure that we can start to get supplies to them if they need them, and hopefully, if we're successful, reconnect them with the rest of the world. I am entrusting all of you, along with Barnabas, the task of doing something that could unify our nations at a time when I fear we may need it most. He kind of looks down, and he looks back up with a big smile on his face, and he says, but I'm not going to elaborate on that. All that you need to be concerned about is that this could be a great moment in history for us to bring these people back to the rest of the world. Does anybody have any questions before I send you off?
Can I get any more of this delicious candy to take with me?
Barnabas reaches into his pocket again and pulls out another handful and, like, tries to, like, say through, like, all of the candy that's still in his mouth, I've got plenty, boy!
Excellent. It was super delicious.
I meekly, like, roll my tank over and, like take as much of the saltwater taffy as you will agree to.
You grab it and, like, just, like, kind of, like, pull it into the tank and it all, like, starts floating,
It's, like,
to the top.
Yeah.
Some of the hard candies got stuck in there, so those are slowly sinking to the bottom while the taffy's floating. That's...
Adding to, like, the little, like, pebbles at the bottom.
You're a mer person. You like the saltwater taffy. I get it.
Yeah. I'm glad you caught that.
We bring you back to the ship where your memory fades back in. Having only just met this crew, I'd imagine you still have kind of some introducing to each other to do. The sea has been, or the trip has been smooth so far. It's been smooth sailing. There hasn't been any kind of disruption. There hasn't been any kind of, like, rough weather, which Barnabas continually has been telling you has been an advantage to everybody, because normally this close to Ethereos it starts to get a little nasty. Cutting back now to your slime companions, you would have found the button amongst your things. Below decks, each of you kind of has your own little private quarters with a chest that your things would have been kept in. And when you press that little button, it would grow and grow into this small little, probably about the size of, like, a chihuahua, or like maybe a little bit smaller than that, like a young cat, but not a newborn cat, if that makes sense. Of these cute little slime companions that as soon as you press your thumb to the button, as it starts to grow, the bond begins immediately, and you feel that connection. It's almost like a thread between the two of you. You can talk to each other. The voice that comes back to you isn't like... It's common, but it's common almost like in a way that you are imagining hearing it. Almost like if you have a pet and you kind of, like, make a voice for your pet, it's the same exact thing, where it's not its voice, it's the voice you're making for it in your head. But these cute little guys communicate with you. You can kind of, like, see through them. They seem to get along together very well, but they try to stay as close to you guys as possible. So you can see them there kind of rocking in the boat. Everybody's kind of milling about on the ship. What are you all doing on the ship right now? We'll start with you, Nerissa. What are you doing on the ship?
I am struggling to wheel my clunky Like, I'm picturing it with, like, wheelchair wheels. So, like, I'm, like, wheeling along my fish tank to try and get a better view of the ocean. The saltwater taffy had me missing both.
And where on the ship do you think you would be hanging out?
Somewhere on this main deck, because I cannot get up or down any of the stairs.
Okay. So, like, where your position now is good, or would you be away from the cannons?
No, I'm definitely near the cannons, thinking about how I could maybe implement them in some future plan.
Okay. What about you, Jesus? What are you doing on the ship?
I'm just hanging out on the edge of the ship, staring out into the water, just enjoying the ride.
Can you please move your character to the position where you think they would be on the ship?
Yeah. Maybe a little too close to the edge. I got him.
Mm-hmm. Erryn, what about you?
Erryn is constantly walking around, trying to see what people are doing. She has this like little notebook that she takes notes in. So she'll be upstairs, downstairs, but she's always just kind of like quietly observing people walking around. She doesn't really say anything. She's just kind of taking notes.
Just like randomly like looking at people and taking notes on them.
Yeah.
It'd be so unsettling.
Yeah, and she's not like she'll try sometimes to I'm sure she's said hello at some point, but other than that, she doesn't really say much. So where she is, I mean, she's just walking around. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people up here, but I can leave her up here right now. Maybe she'll be sort of near the captain, sort of just like hanging out, like not completely looking over his shoulder, but like kind of.
Yep.
I guess it would be like back here because he's facing that direction. Sort of just like watching.
Okay, yeah, he'll kind of like glance back every once in a while. He's like puffing on a big stogie. And you watch as like he draws in the smoke. He blows it out in like different shapes. And it's almost like you see the smoke and then there's some kind of other substance that he's also blowing out with the smoke that seems to be shaping the smoke into the different objects. So he'll do like a star or a heart. Sometimes he'll do like a couple of different things, like he does like the cool Gandalf ship through a ring kind of thing, just like showing off. Brunk, what are you doing on the ship, and where are you positioned right now?
I'm positioned at the forecastle, leaning up against the jib boom with my chest and my arms spread out wide, going, "I'm the king of the world!" with my hair blowing in the wind.
Yeah. And you're catching like a really nice breeze. Like, anybody looking at you, you're getting like the full Fabio effect right now.
I'm very pretty.
Yeah, just enjoying that kind of smooth sailing. It is disrupted quickly, abruptly, and in a way that you're not quite sure what's going on. You don't see anything beneath the ship, and most of you looking over, like, you could probably see, like, whatever brushed beside you or hit you is huge, because your whole ship pushes forward and then rocks back. I'm going to need everybody to make, actually, I don't think I have it up. I'm going to need to make everybody, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. I can't speak today, and I apologize. So, on your character sheet, for those looking to learn how to make a dexterity saving throw, Nerissa, what do you keep rolling? Nerissa, you'll click on dexterity, like the little dex, and it's gonna ask you for an ability check or a saving throw. You'll click saving throw. Normally I have a thing on that I can request that, but I don't know where it is right now.
Is it just normal and not advantage or disadvantage?
Normal. Okay, everybody's good. I was just looking for a 10. The ship rocks and kind of lurches you forward as you have to kind of maintain and find your bearings again. The ship rocks again, and a third time, and on that third time, you see something like some kind of shadow, but like just huge. This thing's like probably the size of a small, or like a building, jumps up from the back of the boat. It looks like an inky, strange shadow monster that digs its claws into the back of the ship and throws up these 3 little, like, oily blobs. Hold on 1 second here. That's not right. There we go, that's better. That is also the wrong name. There we go. The little oily blobs that it spits out start to contort and shape themselves into these lizard-like monsters that hiss and kind of spit at you. And I'm going to need everybody to go to the initiative tab. It's the crossed swords on the right-hand side. You're going to go there, and you are going to roll your initiative. Your slimes also don't need to roll. As these things, like, launch onto the ship and it starts shaking, the slimes, like, kind of, like, as a group, like, tilt the boat over so that it flips over on top of them, like the little sailboat that they're in. And they're hiding underneath it right now.
Brunk is not on your tracker.
Oh, yeah, because you were at the far end there. Hold on, sorry. There you go. You can go ahead and roll your initiative.
Oh, goody.
Barnabas, before anybody else acts, goes to raise his hand, speaks a word in a language, again, that you haven't heard, and says, in common, fireball. And when he goes to shoot this fireball, instead flies out of his hands a flock of chickens. He looks at his hand, looks back down at the steering wheel. He goes, okay, I guess I'm just steering the ship for now, guys. Get in there. And that is where we're going to start. Jesus, you are at the top of the initiative. This shadow being at the back is kind of dragging the ship down. So you watch as the whole ship starts to tilt, and you see that it is being submerged below the water. It's like not fully formed. So that form that you see in its token in the image that I showed, You're only seeing a part of that. You're seeing like the head of the shark and these claws, and its mouth isn't fully formed like that. It's almost just like this like sealed shut goop right now. And its eyes are blinking individually, not in unison.
So can I hit this right now, or no? Would I need to be like right in front of it to be able to hit it?
So the range. So right now, the map that you are on is an accurate range for this. It's in squares, so you can take your movement as normal. We're now in active combat here.
Okay. I think I have some spells in range that I think I could hit that from. I have some spells where I could hit that thing from back here.
Mm-hmm. Well, hold on. You still... Your spell slots are empty. Let me rest your character there. That should have been done at the start. Make sure, if you look at your spells and all of the circles are empty, it just means that you need to rest your character.
Okay.
Erryn's good. I think everybody's good. Okay. Proceed.
So I can hit that with. I could hit that with Kill Touch. I don't think a 4 hits.
Which one were you aiming at?
I was aiming at the one on the very back.
Oh yeah, a 9 doesn't hit. You kind of like throw this little like shard of ice that kind of like, it looks like it hits, but you see that it like almost you just catch it going through the other side of it. And it doesn't seem to have done any damage to it.
I'm going to burn my inspiration and try that over again.
Sure. So you're going for the Shadowfin King, the one right at the back?
Yeah.
That is a 9 to a nat 20. Let's go.
So I gotta roll my damage.
Yep. And when you roll the damage, it should give you the option for critical hit, so that it'll double it for you.
Find where I need to be.
Nice.
9 necrotic damage, so it can't re-heal
Oh,
any of that.
sorry. Necrotic damage?
Yeah.
Sorry. You whip this. So, what does your chill touch look like? I kind of I described it for you, but what does your chill touch look like?
It's a skeleton hand rising from the ocean, grabbing onto it.
The skeleton hand rises from the ocean and goes to grab onto it, and you watch as it cracks its arm in half so that its arm is still inside, like digging into the ship, but it's almost like a piece of the arm snaps off and becomes another hand that like holds hands with the skeletal hand that comes out of the ground or out of the water and rips it out of the water. And for the first time, you see this thing's mouth open as it opens up this like goo mouth, drops the skeleton mouth or the skeleton hand in, and then like seals back shut. As all of its eyes go from like blinking like individually to blinking at once, and then all directly pointing at you.
Cool. Come
on. When you're done your turn on the combat tracker, you can just hit like the little next turn arrow.
Okay, sorry.
No problem at all. Again, this is Foundry is fairly new for this group, so like if you have any questions, anything like that, let me know. But like, there's no sorries needed. This is all new to everybody. This well-honed Shadowfin, as the king looks over and like focuses its eyes on you, so too does this like lizard thing. Show that off again. As it just rushes forward. It's going to do its full action and, or it's a full movement, and it's going to use its action to dash. As it leaps over. Nerissa, it's close to you, but it doesn't seem to give you any attention. It looks like its attention is specifically drawn to Jesus as it's, like, rushing forward at him. Barnabas, like, turns around again. He's steering the ship at the same time. He goes to raise his hand to use magic again and thinks twice about it before putting his hands down. He looks at all of you with genuine worry. He's like, I don't know what this is. Who is it? Is it range 60 feet? He is going to... He's going to pull out a gun, aim it directly at the one that's coming at Jesus, and fire it. While holding it, you can use an action to expend one or more to cast the magic missile spell from it. Excellent. He is going to use all 7 of his charges. Spellbook. Magic missile. Cast at 7th level. And I'm just going to roll it all at once. Pulls out his gun, fires it, and as he fires it, you watch as instead of a bullet coming out or like one explosion, it's like a series of explosions, almost like a Roman candle, as he just fires a bunch of these lights that like swirl around and come down right on this well-honed Shadowfin Hunter for a chunk of damage there. You watch as the lights kind of like light up and hit this thing one at a time, just poof, 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 poof with this force damage. And you almost watch as like as they hit and like explode, the shadow monster like blows apart a little bit and then kind of like venoms its way back together with each hit that it takes. It looks kind of damaged, like it looks hurt, but it's hard to tell how hurt with just how the nature of these things are. Blossoming. Also looks like it's honed in specifically on Jesus. Is not paying you any mind right now, Nerissa. And same thing with the uninformed. It just like leaps over the side here, uses that action to dash, and like gets to this like stairwell over here. Erryn.
I think the first thing she's gonna do is she is going to look at the captain and say, I understand having issues with your magic. Don't feel bad about that. It happens to people, you know. And then she is going to I think I'm just gonna firebolt
Okay.
this. This one's actually damaged. I think she'll firebolt this one.
Perfect. Yeah, you get Barnabas the encouraging words, and he does like the Redford nod, where he just like tilts his head to the side. He's just like.
And okay, let me roll. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay. Did it not? Oh, wait, cancel new. Did it roll? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you'll see it on the main screen.
Yeah, I was on the wrong one. Does a 13 hit?
A 13 does hit these guys, yeah. Woo!
10 fire damage.
That's some good damage. You turn around and launch off this firebolt, and it flies in and hits it like directly in the chest, and you watch it kind of buckle a bit as the fire starts like it seems to not only hurt it, but the light from it like kind of like tries to shield its face from the light from the explosion.
Awesome. I think she's going to probably stay back here. She's a little bit squishy, and I do not want her to die immediately.
All right.
There's somewhere. Oh, end turn. Here we go.
Nerissa. These things are close. As close as you are, you can kind of see that, like, as their, like, little tongue lashes out. Again, think of these things as, like, kind of like dinosaur, or not dinosaur, but like Venom from the Marvel comics. They're kind of composed like that out of this oil. So like their tongue like kind of like lashes in that kind of like same like way how it moves. And they're like kind of like, as they're breathing, they're dripping this oil onto the ground.
So these guys are made of oil. I have an alchemist flask, or an alchemist fire flask, Molotov cocktail. Can I lob them at, like, kind of like the middle guy? Would it... I can throw it up to 20 feet. Would it, like, flash big enough to get, like, multiple if I throw it at, like, the two that are, like, next to each other?
No, so it'll only hit one target because it's like a small flask, but how it works is, if it hits, the damage that it does is continuous each turn until it can put itself out. So it does 1d4 damage, and then the next turn, if it hasn't put itself out, it does another 1d4 damage, and goes on and on until they put themselves out. So you'd be able to get one, but it does, like, continual damage.
Okay, follow-up question.
Yes.
Since these guys are made of oil, are they flammable, and would they, like, would the fire spread at all?
You don't know. Because, again, they're not made of oil. They're made of, like, an oil-like substance that this thing behind them spit out. It's like an inky, it just looks like an oil. But it's kind of like just an inky black liquid. And you just watched it get hit with the firebolt, and that didn't seem to really catch it on fire. It got hurt, and it took that little bit of an explosion, but it didn't catch fire as if like an oil would.
Okay. Okay. I am going to... I still think I'm going to try my fire flask, because they don't like the light from fire either. So if I can, like, get it so that it'll hit one of them, maybe catch some of the, like, the little oily drips on the ground. Fire, maybe they won't. So I'm going to throw that at the blossoming shadow Pinhunter that's closest to me.
Perfect. Yeah, it's an improvised weapon, so you make a ranged attack. You could just use, like, your short bow for the attack.
Okay, how do I do that?
Click on the... So if you hover over your short bow in your inventory, you'll see, like, there's a little d20 that shows up. If you click on that, that'll make it a roll.
Oh, I double clicked it. Do I?
That's fine. In the chat tab now, you're gonna see There should be something that says attack or roll.
Attack. Normal?
Yep.
Perfect.
23 hits. So you catch this thing on fire. Do I have an on fire? It was the blossoming one. And roll 1d4. What's this one for now? Okay. So you throw this flask, it explodes onto this thing, and as opposed to just like a regular fire, it's almost like this like burning liquid that kind of like spreads through its like inkiness. So you see kind of like this like line of like it almost looks like lava, like a line of lava in this like inky black form as it starts to kind of like burn it alive. It gives like kind of like a screech, and like lashes out with its tongue, and it turns its attention to you, but only it does. The other two seem like they're still honed in on Jesus.
Okay. I have the ability to. I have Emissary of the Sea. Are these guys considered beasts, elementals, or monstrosity? Do they have a swimming speed?
They do have a swimming speed. They do not count as any of those three. They shouldn't be labeled as beasts. They would be aberrations.
Dang. Okay. So I can't be like, yo.
You try to reach out to communicate with them, and just nothing comes back.
Okay.
They either aren't like one of those typings, or they aren't mentally capable of communicating with you.
Okay, and Nerissa kind of does like a dang. Like.
Do you move at all?
Not at this time. I'm kind of backed into the corner, like between, like the cannon and the cannon walls.
Okay.
And there's not really a free space for me to like wheel in there.
Well, you can move up to 30 feet.
Okay.
So if you wanted to back up, you could, or I don't imagine why you'd want to move closer, because I wouldn't want to be surrounded by these things.
No. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna back up, like closer to the boat with the slimes.
Okay.
And I see like my slime, and I'm like, hey, we got this.
Kind of like peeks under, and like its like robot eyes kind of like blink at you, like, but it's still like wide, and it looks nervous and scared. To end your turn, just in the combat tab, you'll hit the little like next turn, or little arrow. There we go. The Shadowfin King's turn. As you guys are hitting it with hitting them with these attacks, you hear it almost like sing out in this strange low hum, and as it does, you watch as it starts to blur, and kind of like it's hard. It starts to displace, and as it does, so do the Shadowfin hunters down here. You watch as they all kind of like displace, so they get a little bit harder to see. It also raises up its arms, and it's almost like how it split its arm to grab the skeleton arm. It raises its arms, and they start to split and split and split until there's 6 arms. It grips into the ship, and you watch as a big crack starts to form in the back as it shoves it down and is starting to try and tear the ship apart. Brunk, it is your turn.
Well, I'm pretty far away, but I'm gonna get myself into position here. And I'm gonna vault the railing as I run past the captain here. And that's gonna require me to make a athletics check. As I try to clear the railing, because I'm assuming there's at least something of a railing there. Keep people from falling over. Supposedly I gotta make a roll of a 10 unless you want to set that higher.
I think a 10's pretty reasonable for vaulting over.
Oh, good, because I rolled a 13. And I land on my feet. Pull my longsword and my shield out. Start screaming, "Woohoo! Let's go." That's going to be the end of my turn because that was a double move.
Perfect. Back at the top of the order, Jesus. These Shadowfin hunters seem like they're clocking on you pretty hard. They're all like approaching you, rushing up very quickly. You're muted.
I'm gonna cast Shatter between them. Try to take the 3 out in front of me.
Okay, so they gotta make some con saves. Okay. Two of them make it, one of them fails.
Okay.
Seven damage. You throw the shatter spell out. You watch as like the ground beneath it and this like kind of there's like a couple things set up around it that just like blow into splinters. None of them are down, but this well-honed Shadowfin hunter is looking a little fucked up.
If I moved into them, I would get attacked. They would get an attack opportunity, wouldn't they?
Only if you move out of their space. If you move into it, you're fine, but it's risky.
Okay. I want to try to get closer to the end of the ship. Like if I moved here, would I get attacked? Like would that provoke an attack of opportunity?
No, it would only provoke. So if you move, for instance, if you move to this space here, then the uninformed guy would get an attack of opportunity on you.
Okay. I'm happy with that. I just want to get as close to the guy at the end of the ship as I can.
Okay.
In my turn.
Hmm. Okay, well-honed shadow fin. I mean, you're right up in his cheese.
It was coming after.
It's gonna get a bite and 2
Coming
claw
after me
attacks.
anyway.
I'm assuming that's gonna hit.
Yeah, that just barely hit.
So the bite is 9 necrotic damage as it bites into you, and you feel some of that like gross oily substance like kind of leak from its fangs into your wound.
Okay.
And it's gonna come at you with 2 claws. That hits.
That hit.
For another 10.
Ooh, I'm down.
You're down? Okay.
I'm down already.
Then its 3rd claw attack is going to give you an automatic death failure.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring your health to 0. Go ahead and bring your health to 0. There we go. And then on your character sheet, you're going to see a little skull over your character. And under failure, you're just going to put 1 where the X is.
Okay.
And that is the
Alrighty.
well-honed Shadowfin's turn. You watch as Jesus runs forward into this group of these weird lizard inky shadow monsters. And one just like bites into him and just starts tearing into him. Barnabas. Barnabas doesn't have a choice. Barnabas is gonna have to try and cast a spell. Do. Where are we here? Okay. He is going to... he lets go of the wheel, leaps over and runs up 35 feet. Oh, this got bad so quick. Okay. You watch as he raises his hands to the sky, and a storm, where it was like a calm, like, just like cloudless sky, you watch as these clouds start to like gather and form, right above the ship. He points up and drags his finger down, and he's gonna, cast lightning bolt. He's only going to be able to get 1 here. He's going to try to get that one. So he watches the lightning like kind of like zaps his finger, and he points it forward to fire it at this thing here. which it fails. Takes 21 lightning damage. And I need to roll a random effect. On the nuisance table. You watch as he fires the spell and, like, he immediately tries to conjure another spell and, like, nothing happens. He's just like, oh, no, come on! Casting an action, and casting a spell that costs him an action or a bonus action now costs 2 actions. So now he can only cast a spell every other turn. Blossoming. Right now, the well-honed one is kind of like fucking... it's got Jesus in his mouth and is kind of like a dog, like tossing him around like a rag doll in his mouth. So Blossoming is going to rush forward. It's gonna have to use its action to dash. It gets right up to you, Nerissa, but like just like almost like snaps like in your face, like gets close but not close enough in that like kind of like little 6-second burst. Uninformed also moves away from Jesus's body and can't get close enough to attack Barnabas without having to use an extra action, but he gets right up in Barnabas's face. Erryn, it is your turn. One of your compatriots is downed right now and is in the jaws of this Shadowfin hunter. Your captain is face to face with another one, as well as one of your other companions, and the Shadow King in the background is destroying the ship behind them.
Okay. I think she's gonna go to the wheel because it probably would be good for somebody to be there. I think she's going to cast... She's gonna like take a deep breath and do some affirmations to herself before she casts Magic Missile. She's gonna try to cast it at this one that's biting Jesus.
Yep.
It'll probably go down, so she'll probably do like 1 missile to him and 2 missiles to this one.
Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and roll your Arcana check. DC right now is a 17.
Okay. Oops. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. Okay.
I think in this moment of panic, your brain, like, before your brain can think about what you're doing, you just cast naturally. It's almost like you just throw those magic missiles out in that kind of like self-defense position.
Okay. So the first one is for him, and then the next 2 are for this one.
Sure, yeah, roll your 1d4s. There's 1d4 plus 1.
1.
Okay, first one is 4 damage. That first one just kills this Shadowfin hunter outright.
It's not letting me roll multiple of them.
For the damage? That's fine. You can just do it in the little dice tray at the bottom. Just like hit the d4 once and then hit the plus.
Oh,
once and it'll add the plus 1.
4 plus 2.
Or,
I guess, but I need to do it separately.
yeah, roll them individually. Yeah, 1d4 plus 1.
1d4 plus 1. Plus 1. Nice. 10 damage to the other one.
Yeah, which is huge. You throw out these motes of magic that, like, once again just kind of like blast in, the same thing as like when the captain fired his gun. They blast right into them, and you see that these big holes kind of open up and then seal themselves back shut. Except for the first one you fire. You fire the first one, and this other one that already seemed to have, like, trouble maintaining its form, you watch as it goes down for another bite into Jesus's body, and your magic missile flies through its head and down, and you watch it exit its tail before it disperses, and you watch as the whole thing just falls into a pile of, like, ink that it looks like oily at first and then disperses into shadow.
Do I need to roll a chaos surge?
Uh,
Because I, or roll for...
Yeah, roll...
Because I did a leveled spell.
Correct.
D20?
Roll a d20.
Nice.
Okay.
Do you want me to keep on my sheet somewhere what it is?
On your sheet, I would do it on the attributes tab in one of your resources.
That's
Right.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, right now it is 3 out of 20.
Okay. And I'll just call it Chaos Surge so you know if you're looking at my sheet.
Yep. Great way to keep track.
And she is going to, I don't know how much she knows about steering, but she's going to attempt to at least keep hold of the steering wheel.
Yep.
And
So you don't have a proficiency in it at all. I'm going to get you to roll... I'm going to get you to roll a survival check for me. And because you see Mirabelle, and Mirabelle is, like, desperately trying to, like, slam its little slime body into the steering wheel to get it to move the right way. So you can go ahead and roll this survival check with advantage.
wow, very nice.
You go to, like, tug the wheel and, like, not really thinking about what the bird is doing, like, tug opposite to the way it was trying to steer. You steer the boat, like, really hard, and I'm going to need everybody to make another dexterity saving throw.
Do I also need to make one?
Yes.
I'm holding onto the steering wheel?
Yeah, you can make your saving throw with advantage if you like, Erryn.
Alright.
Since you have something to hold on to.
Goodness.
Jesus is good. Nerissa's good. Brunk, I need a dexterity saving throw from you, please. Flash? Hey, get out of my garbage. That is a fail. Brunk, you are knocked prone.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, you like just pull the ship the wrong way, the whole thing lurches and everybody's like, ah!
Yeah, she's just apologizing over and over. That is the end of my turn.
Nerissa. So you watch, like, Jesus got downed. The first one was kind of like chewing on a little bit. Thanks to, like, a clutch spell from Erryn, it is like Jesus is now just, like, sitting there struggling to live. but is not being chewed on actively, which is great. There is also this one that she got a couple hits on that is in front of you right now, like breathing this like kind of toxin right in your face. Actually, sorry, at the start of its turn, I had to do a roll. Well, yeah, because it takes... It is also burning to death as you watch as the lava from your alchemist fire spreads through its body. What are you doing, Nerissa?
Okay, so question. When the ship kind of, like, was, like, moving all chaotically, could I have used that to maybe, like, roll my tank into this guy and push him back at all?
Well,
Like, I, like, shove my tank into him?
the dexterity save at that time was to keep yourself upright. Otherwise, you and the tank would have been, like, tits up on the floor.
So, yeah, no, okay, that's fair. In that case, I would like to try and acid splash him, because the vibe I've gotten from these guys is that any of my physical weapons are not really going to do anything. So I'm going to try to acid splash him. And he would need to do a dexterity saving throw. Is that what am I reading the rules?
Yeah, so same thing with your attacks. If you are in your spellbook and click the little die beside Acid Splash, it'll drop it into the chat. And then that way it'll give you the opportunity to roll damage.
Okay.
It, however, makes the save, so you no damage. It is a saver.
Well.
It is a saver suck, unfortunately.
Good. Okay.
You go to, like, throw the acid in its face, and it's already dealing with this burning. And as it does, or as you, like, go to cast a spell to, like shoot this acid from your fingertips, or how do you cast Acid Splash? What is it just, like, an actual, like, thing that you pull out and use?
Yeah, so I see how, like, my character has, like, the sash with, like, the things hanging from it. Those are, like I've collected, like, pollution from, like, bio-waste facilities, and, like, I have those like, ready to toss in his face. Like,
Okay.
Like, think, like, pocket sand, but, like...
Acid Splash!
Acid! Yeah, Acid Splash!
You reach into your pocket and pull out just a little bit of, like, acid sand that you go to blow in its face, and it, like, kind of, like, does, like, its body doesn't move, but its neck and head do. Just kind of, like, out of the way as it just kind of, like, blows past you. Doing anything else?
If that's a cantrip, am I able to... What else am I able to do still?
So you used your action. You have a bonus action. You have, like, an object interaction. If you wanted to, like, drink a potion or something like that. You have your movement, but if you move away, you'll give it an attack of opportunity. Looking at your abilities and spells, you don't really have much you can do otherwise right now.
Can I try to do the thing that I mentioned earlier where I, like, roll my tank into him forcefully and try and knock him back as my action?
You already used your action. Used your action to try and acid splash him.
Oh, okay. Sorry, misunderstood.
Yeah, you have a bonus action is a specific, like, smaller thing you can do. In our games, you can drink a potion with a bonus action. Some spells are like, specifically bonus action. Like, is Healing Word? Is Healing Word a bonus action, or is it an action?
Oh.
One of the heal spells is a bonus action.
I think Healing Word is a bonus action.
So things like that. That's the kind of stuff you'd be able to do with a bonus action.
I don't think I have anything available to me.
Yes, go ahead, just pass your
That am
turn.
accurate. Yeah.
The Shadowfin King, on its turn, you're gonna watch as it just like it like a frog, its whole like chin blows up way bigger than it should, and then it makes like a bleh sound as it spits out another one of these hunters. It then digs like the six like spider-like hands that it split into, now split into 12, and you watch as it's like now starting to reach around the whole ship, and like just like snaps the end off of it. This thing spit out over here. You watch it as it kind of like submerges below the waves with the chunk of ship. And let's do a little square. This whole section of the ship is gone, and the ship is taking in water. Brunk!
Oh, well, I'm going to get back up off the deck here. Oh. And I'm going to make for this guy here. How far can I get with after getting up from prone?
Getting up from prone is 10 feet, so I believe you have 20 feet left.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to run up to this guy and say, "You're a bad puppy." Swing my sword at him. Ooh. Oh, that's amazing.
Wow.
Oh, fantastic. He got all squishy.
You slice through. It doesn't seem like it does much at first, but you almost hit like a hard... It's like because of the like the alchemist fire that's spreading throughout it, it like solidifies some of it. That seems to catch your sword and actually do a bit of damage to it. These things are resistant to non-magical attacks, unfortunately, so it does take half of that 14.
Okay. Let's see here. Is there anything else I want to do before I pass it along?
As an Azamar, you kind of have like a natural radiant glow, right?
Well, only with the Celestial Revelation if I pop it.
I see.
As a bonus action. I don't know if I want to do that just yet. I don't know that I want to do that just yet. I'm sorry, I'm taking forever.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bonus action my Celestial Revelation. I should have done that probably before I attacked, but I'll go ahead and do that. So my Celestial Revelation for him is the Radiant Consumption. So he sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10. Once on each of your turns, you can deal an extra 2 radiant damage to one target when you deal damage to it with an attack or spell. At the end of your turns, each creature within 10 feet of you takes 2 radiant damage.
Oh my sweet G. So I'm going to give you the extra damage on your attack. We'll say that you did the revelation first.
Okay.
You burst out into this like bright radiant light, and this thing squeals and screeches. Just, ah! Tries to cover its eyes. As you slash through it into that hard bit that's caught like and solidified with the alchemist's fire, your sword lights up with that little bit of radiance, and you watch as the radiance is, unlike the fire in the alchemist fire that has been hitting these things so far, the radiance spreads like fire, and you watch as the shadow kind of disappears as the light starts to overtake it. And with that, so it's 2 damage, it's vulnerable to radiant, so that makes it 4 damage. That other 4 damage at the end of each of your turns obliterates this thing. You watch as the light spreads and overtakes it, and it just bursts into this cloud of shadow.
Well, at least I don't have to wash it out of my clothes later. That'll be the end.
Hold on, let's roll
That'll
this
be it.
new one in. Okay.
So the big king is still around, but he's not visible right now.
Right now, he's not visible. He just grabbed
Off the-
grabbed a piece of the ship, tore it off, and pulled it down into the water, into the depths. At the top of the order, it is you, Jesus. You see nothing but blackness. Above you, the visage of your father. What form does your father take in this instance? What is your what does, being the son of God, what does your version of God look like?
Well, kind of. I'm gonna go with Hans Moleman from The Simpsons.
Like looks.
That's what I base my character off of. So
He looks down. He's like, "Come home, son. Come home, son." And is like gesturing for you to come back. I'm gonna need you to, on your character sheet, you'll click the little skull in the center of your character, and that will prompt you to roll a death save.
do you want me to do public roll or private roll?
Let's do a private roll. Okay. We'll pass your turn
Hey,
for now.
where's the death save on the character sheet?
The death save?
Yeah.
You'll only see it when your character is dropped to 0 hit
Oh,
points.
you only see it then. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Barnabas has this uninformed one right in his grill. He goes to raise his hand to cast another spell, looks down, and then realizes that he can't, because he would have to burn his action just to, like, basically prep the spell at this point, and pulls out his sword instead. He looks and he's like, "All right, Scarlet, you and me, let's do this," and gives the blade a kiss, and you hear a voice go, "Not in front of the children, please." He raises the sword and goes to swing it down on this creature. .24 damage. Or not 24 damage. You rolled a 24. That's a hit. For 13 damage. And unlike your weapons that you've been hitting these things with so far, you watch as Scarlet kind of, like, shimmers with, like, this, like, almost like this burning light. Like, it's not doing fire damage, but it, like, kind of, like, shimmers with that glow of, like, just being pulled out of a furnace, almost. And you watch as he cuts through this thing, and, like, it, like, same thing, it splits apart and starts to kind of goo back together, but it's, like, this, like, big, like, burn mark, like this big, like, red scorch mark before it seals itself shut. He's got 2 attacks, right? He does have an extra attack. He's gonna go again. .27 for 11 damage. I forgot to make an icon for her, but that's fine for now. Where is... I should have a spiritual weapon in here somewhere. Utility tokens. Just throw that there for now. As he like takes the sword and as his bonus action whispers into it and says, "Go, Scarletta," and tosses it into the air, and you watch as she kind of like spins and floats. This just sentient sword floating on its own, beside this shadow hunter. Passing his turn, it is going to try and clap back at him. And is going to miss. The claws. That last one hits. Okay, but it's only taking away temporary hit points. As, like, he cuts into it first, like, ha ha, with the sword, and then tosses it into the air. And as he lets go of the sword that floats away, kind of, like, just dips a couple, like the bite, dips the first claw, and just gets clipped with the second claw from this thing. Erryn.
I keep forgetting my name was Erryn. Okay. I don't have any healing power. So I am gonna try to firebolt this one back here.
Yep.
Uh, 21 to hit.
21 hits.
Nice. 9 fire damage.
Nice.
Not that one. This one.
Oh, hold on. The new one?
The new one.
Yeah, perfect. The acoustic Shadowfin Hunter?
The acoustic.
Yes.
And
sitting in the back playing Dave Matthews Band.
That's why she hit him. She only likes Crash Into Me, and if he's not playing that, she doesn't want to hear it. So she says, I don't know if I should try to get control of this ship again, but I'm nervous that if nobody's in control, it'll be worse than me doing it. So I'll just try to keep it steady, maybe. And
the little chicken slime is like.
If the chicken slime is trying to keep her from engaging, she'll just stand there. Then she won't touch it. I think if it starts spinning wildly, she'll try to get it under control. But for now, she's just like, okay then. I guess I did not do a good job. And, yeah, I think the only bonus action I can do is, I can teleport. But I don't want her to be any closer, so, she will stay here.
Perfect. Nerissa.
Okay. I have a question.
I have an answer.
If I use one of my spells, Mage Hand, to hurl one of the cannonballs through one of these guys, does that count as a magical or a non-magical attack?
It'd be a non-magical attack, and I don't know if your Mage Hand can do that.
Well, that's also a good follow-up question.
Yeah,
but if it's a non-magical attack, I don't want to do it anyways because they are invulnerable and they're not.
Yeah. It's specifically part of the spell description that it says the hand can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds.
Well, how heavy are the cannonballs?
Oh, it could probably pick up the cannonballs. That's not the issue. The issue is that it couldn't use that
just can't
cannonball to
throw them?
attack. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
A mage hand is kind of an assistant. Like, you can use it to, like, carry items for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any other magical ways to do anything unless I acid splash again. So can I make a second attempt to acid splash the guy that's in front of Barnabas?
Sure.
Alright.
Fails the saving throw. And that's 4 damage.
Yeah, so I rip another pocket sand acid splash.
You
and hurl it over. I try to hurl it over the slimes in the boat.
Yeah, the boat's flipped over, so the slimes are like hiding underneath of it right now. You grab this acid powder and just like floof it over, and you watch as it kind of like starts to stick to its skin, and then you watch as its like oily, like inky skin starts to like melt away in the spots where they land.
Excellent. And I'm like, take that, oil beast! Because they remind me of the oil spills that killed my family, so I'm in like extra vengeance mode.
Yep. Barnabas looks over and he's like, ah! It's like, ah, good job, lass!
I give him like a finger gun.
Go ahead and pass your turn when you're done. Acoustic Shadowfin Hunter is going to run forward and kind of just like rest on the edge, but won't come too much closer. Shadowfin King, you watch as it launches itself out of the water onto this next part of the boat. Looks around at all of you and roars like this ear-piercing, screeching roar. Brunk, it is your turn.
Oh. I am gonna... Brunk's gonna take a look at the big guy. We're gonna cast Guiding Bolt. Hey, big fella, chew on this. Ooh.
It is displaced. Roll with disadvantage. So give me one more roll.
Oh. Poop.
That still hits, I believe. Oh, no, sorry. It does not hit.
17 does not hit.
17 does not hit.
Oh, my.
Very close, though, as it kind of, like, whizzes by its face. And the radiance of the bolt kind of, like, gives it, like, kind of like a like effect, but it doesn't hit it directly.
Let's see here. I want to be there. That way I'm within 10 feet of Mr. Uninformed.
Mm-hmm.
So that he takes 2 damage from my Radiant Excellence.
Nice. Yep.
And then I will end my turn.
You end your turn. At the top of the order, before we get to you, Jesus, this giant Shadowfin King creature almost like launch pads itself up into the air, but not before it like makes those spider-like inky arms again, wraps itself around that part of the ship, leaps up, and you watch as its arms like stretch from its body as it leaps up at probably about 100 feet, and then dives back down through that portion of the ship, dragging it down. The whole ship lurches up, like kind of like tips all the way up, and flips over and crashes onto all of you, knocking each of you unconscious. I need you, Jesus, to make your remaining death saves. Please roll them privately. Okay? Okay. When you all come to, it is to the smell... Oh, hold on. It is to the smell of salt on the air, grilled meats of some variety, and a splitting headache. Barnabas is sitting in front of all of you. It looks like a campfire has been set up, and all of you have been laid out onto bedrolls. Some of you weren't very badly hurt, except for Jesus, who is still looking pretty bad. But you're stable, you're conscious. As you come to, you look behind to see the wreck of the front of the ship. Up on a rock, surrounded by debris. There's a couple of crates around. See that there's a little lean-to that has been made. And Barnabas looks at you and says, "Oh, thank fuck all of you survived. And now I need a rest." And he falls unconscious. And that's where we're going to take 5-ish minute break. Go ahead, use the washroom, refill your waters, all that fun stuff.
Sorry, I just noticed after my trance, I'm allowed to take 2 proficiencies that I don't have, each one with a weapon or tool of my choice.
Yeah.
Can I just take them because I didn't have them from before?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just
take them now.
Okay.
Yeah, not a problem. Go ahead and take them now.
Okay, perfect. I just realized I have no idea which 2 tool proficiencies, but I'll put them in there with like an asterisk so I know that I can change them.
Yeah, because I think when you go into your tool proficiencies, it has like a little freeform bar where you can type in ones. So you can put them with those amendments.
I don't have any tool proficiencies.
Yeah, so if you look on your character...
any of them...
So any of them would be for that
Any
ability.
that I put in there, any that I put in there would count as... I'm just gonna put alchemists and just trying to find maybe trying to think of what would be good. Oh, calligraphers. I'll do those.
Perfect.
Okay, so yeah, any of the ones I have, but if you see them changing, that's why.
Yep, no worries at all.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, let's take a wee break. I gotta run to the washroom. And I will return.
Jesus. I was trying to get there, but crazy monsters trying to destroy the ship and stuff.
Just waiting for Flash to get back. How's everybody liking it so far?
I'm liking it so far.
Good. I like to
Definitely.
I like to throw you guys into the deep end. I think session 1 should always have a bit of excitement. It shouldn't just be RP. There should be that little bit of tension.
It was definitely a fun challenge right off the hop.
My first thought was to try to protect the ship and went down trying. And realized that was just gonna happen no matter what. But I figured if everything was targeted on me already, I might as well just try to get as close to the end of the ship as I could.
Mm-hmm. I think with that though, especially the reaction it had to you, kind of gives you a little bit of a hint or a glimpse as to how those creatures operate. It is definitely not the last time you are going to see those creatures or creatures like them. So it's
Yeah.
good to drop a little hints in action instead of just through like lore dumps or something like that.
I could relate to that, to everything I've watched so far on the Flaming Crew.
Yeah, season 1 was kind of
Like
crazy.
when the ship started going down, had vibes of Rawtooth getting stuck under the dungeon that was getting grown.
Yes. yeah, as the dungeon was growing, and then like brute forcing his way through basically solid concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch those sessions. The season, I'm calling this season 2. What we're doing now is officially season 2. This story is going to catch up to that story, but you guys have a different tale to tell to start out, so I'm excited to get everybody back to Mercana eventually and to go through all that fun stuff, but there is a very, very important part of the story that needed to be told, and I think this was the perfect way to do it.
Awesome.
You guys come to very quickly. Erryn, our diplomat here. What is going through your head right now as you're kind of coming to and seeing your surroundings?
I think she would be interested in trying to figure out where they were. She doesn't usually go unconscious because she doesn't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
She trances, so I think that in and of itself was kind of a weird experience for her. And so she's taking notes about it. She is just trying to sort of get her bearings, see how sort of other people are, take, note of herself. She's not really hurt, but she does make a note that she needs to learn how to steer a boat.
Yeah.
That is something she should probably do for the future. And she's wondering where her slime is,
Mm-hmm.
and if her slime is okay.
So, looking to the side, the slimes are actually they've kind of dispersed amongst their owners and are keeping like a close watchful eye on you guys. As you come to, your slime actually kind of like crawls over and kind of like crawls onto your face and is like almost like it like uses like two of its pseudopods to like reach out and kind of like try to reassure you, right? As like a pet would. So it's like kind of like caressing your face and like kind of like petting your hair, like or like making sure you're okay. Same thing like most of your slimes. Your slime, Nerissa, is in your tank, like kind of like swimming around your head, just orbiting you, trying to like check on you. Brunk, your dude is just kind of just chilling. I think dude is used to you getting kind of into little scrapes here and there, and like seeing that your breathing is enough, so he's just kind of like hanging out on the side, kind of doing like on your bedroll, there's kind of like a nub that he can lean on, so he's just kind of doing the cat lean on it. Jesus, yours, King James, is the most concerned out of all these slimes. Like, this slime has been frantically going back and forth, like, cleaning up any of that residual oil that was left over, or, like, ink or shadow goo or whatever it was that was in your body from the bites. It has been going, and this is the first time you guys have actually seen these slimes cleansing at all. And it is like, basically seeps itself into one of the pores where the bite was and comes out, and you can see that there's a little blob of that inkiness inside of it that slowly disperses away inside its body. And it does that as it's trying to, like, that's what brings you to, like, back and snaps you back to the waking world, as your father is like, come, please join me, my son. Or in Hans Moleman's voice, join me, my son. You can do it. Come on now. I was a great adventurer once, too. You snap awake, and King James, kind of in the same regard as Erryn, kind of like slimes up to your face and like is like crawling all over it and like checking you out and rubbing your face with the pseudopods, like, oh god, thank god you're okay. And you can hear that in your head, probably in the Hans Moleman voice as well, just thankful that you're okay. Barnabas has, like, he's sitting on a barrel, and he has just fully fallen asleep sitting up, with, like, his head down and his hat kind of over his face. He's got a fire roaring. It looks like he had, some of the supplies were salvageable. There's a crate behind you that appears to have some preserved meats, and he has, like, put some of that on, like, debris, like, sticks made out of the debris that is, like, kind of hanging over the fire to cook right now, so that's kind of that meat smell that you're smelling. You also smell the salt of seawater surrounding you. You're clearly on an island, and you think you're probably on the right island because behind you there is a green glow that is something you can't miss. Looking up, you can't tell how tall this dome of magical energy is, but there is a, like, wall, like a thick green wall of magical energy behind the lean-to, and behind, like, a little sparse, peppered amount of these giant palm trees. You can feel free to speak amongst yourselves, or if you have any questions about your surroundings.
So am I in my tank currently?
It looks like Barnabas was able to put you back in your tank. It seems like the water that is in there, do you normally have salt water in there, or is it a fresh water that you normally keep in there?
Salt water.
Well, then, thankfully, you're surrounded by enough that Barnabas could easily fill up your tank. So the tank is full. Reginald is, like, swimming around on top, like just floating, like, making sure that you're okay. As you come to, it seems like he's very relieved.
Okay. When I come to, can I roll over to Jesus? And I wanna check on you, Jesus, see how you're doing. And I remember the saltwater taffy that Barnabas gave me earlier. It gave me some temporary hit points. Can I offer you some now very soggy saltwater taffy that's still floating in my tank? And maybe it'll help you feel better too.
Yeah, I'll take some soggy taffy. I enjoy it in any form. I almost got the captain for some reason.
The soggy taffy tastes very good. Go ahead and give yourself 7 temporary hit points.
Okay.
On your character sheet, under your health, the health bar, you'll see temp. Just put 7 there.
Yeah.
Which is, that's fucking half your health. Half your health and temp hit points. If you had eaten the candy the first time, it could have kept you alive.
Should have asked for some.
So lesson learned.
Thank
Always
you.
take candy from strangers.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for saving me.
You heard it first, kids watching at home. Stranger's just a friend you haven't met. It's not true. Don't talk to strangers. The world's a weird place. The wind is blowing slightly. From what you all know about this place, is that it normally storms. The sky is fairly clear, though. You see there's some clouds here or there. It doesn't seem that a storm has come through here in a while, outside of the storm that was created by Barnabas on the ship. Far off in the distance to the west, you think you make out the tip of, what appears to be some kind of large stone structure. Barely visible from how far away you are. And other than that, the most glaring prominent thing in this area is that barrier in front of all of you.
I want to. Oh shoot! I don't have detect magic. I think I would probably go still inspect the barrier. Try to see, is it just physical? Can I throw a rock through it? Can I shoot a spell through it, etc.? I think is what she would be doing.
Okay, Erryn is testing the barrier. Walking up to the barrier, you feel the magic coming from it. Something incredibly powerful created this barrier. Trying to throw anything through it results in as if it was a physical wall, just smacks against it and drops to the ground. You can touch the barrier. It doesn't hurt you in any way, but it does feel the same, kind of like a smooth, almost glass-like material, thrumming with magical energy.
Can I shoot spells through it?
No. Same thing. It's like as if you were shooting the spell at a wall. It doesn't seem to have any kind of opposing reaction. It's not like the barrier fights back or anything like that. It's just like the magic, your magic hits it and it disperses against it, and doesn't leave any kind of marking or anything like that. You also cannot see inside the barrier. All you see is just a fog of green.
Brunk's gonna roll over and see dude and go, "Hey, dude, you okay there, little buddy?"
Kind of perks up and just kind of wiggles a little bit.
Good fella. Okay, I'll kind of sit up and take a look around, and I see Jesus sitting over here to my right, and I notice that he doesn't look very good. So I'll roll to my feet, walk over, and say, "Hey, you need a little sugar? Hold on a second." I'll slap my hands together and rub them and say, "Watch this." And my hands start to glow, and I touch him, and I heal him with my healing hands for 2d4 hit points. Ooh, a big 3. Riveting.
Hey, he's got not a lot of hit points, so 3 is substantial.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Oh, no problem.
I don't
whatsoever.
want to see my father again.
I wish I had something else. I mean, if we need to, I can pump you up a little bit more, but it's kind of hoping to get a lay of the land first before we decide to do whatever it is we're going to do next. Hey, Captain, what's going on?
He's asleep.
He doesn't look too bad. Is he okay or just
Well,
really tired?
when I woke up, he said, "Oh, I'm glad everybody's okay," and then he fell asleep sitting up. So,
Oh,
yeah.
well. And I'm just going to pick him up and carry him back over into his bedroll.
You
Just,
go.
like, gently lay him in it.
You go to pick him up and like rock him awake. He kind of like pushes you off him. And is like, "Oh no! That'll cost you $50." What? Oh.
Listen, I'm not into that kind of activity there with you, bruh. But
So-
I was just trying to put you back in your little bedroll there so you could sleep.
It's like, oh no time for sleep now. What's her name? Brewski? Brisk? Brunk. That's it. Brunk.
Sir.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Here.
Just like it's spelled like it sounds.
Reaches into his pocket. It's like, here, have some saltwater taffy.
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And I kind of look at I look over at Nerissa and I kind of flick at her direction.
I go and like catch it, and just like immediately, without even remembering to take off the wrapper this time, shove it in my mouth.
So temporary hit points don't stack, so you still have the 7 that you had before. It just stays, but it tastes good. Tastes good. Makes you feel good.
I just wanted the saltwater taffy.
Yeah.
Hey, so what's the plan here, Captain? What are we gonna do? We don't have a boat. Apparently, there's a big green wall behind us.
Aye. Well. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, it is a magical barrier, and it does not allow anything physical or magical to pass through, and you can't see through it. It does have a glassy texture. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but it does if you want to take notes about it.
He looks and he says, "Oh, that would make sense. So there's a story. Guildmaster Clean mentioned the Great War.
Do we have any marshmallows?
He kind of like rummages through his pocket. He's like, no, I've just got candy.
Stories go so good with marshmallows, but continue, sir. And I'm gonna he's gonna run back over to his sleeping bag real quick and plop down, sit Indian style, and just like tuck in, scoot his butt in a little bit, and just wait for the story.
A little over, I think it's been about a century now. A little over a century ago, all 4 nations were at peace. There was, where we come from, Rudalius. There is Dominion, to the west, that was run by, some would say, a horrible man. There was Rovain, and there was where we are now, Ethereos. Dominion, to the west, led by the Quinton monarchy, decided to try and overthrow the other kingdoms with the show of incredible force and dark magics unlike anyone had ever seen. As rumors go, Rovain was left a barren wasteland. Rudalius formed guilds to fight back and push back the forces from Dominion. And from what we know, the 7 Knights of Ethereos, very powerful adventurers, very powerful warriors, sacrifice themselves and use their essence and magic combined to create this barrier, to keep out any remaining threats. We have not heard anything from this place in almost 100 years since the conclusion of that war. We're here to investigate what is inside, if we can get in, and what this barrier is in the first place. So I think our courses of action should be to continue with our mission, explore the spaces that we can get to here, and see if we can find any kind of locals, or anything that might be able to help us get inside. This is unexplored territory for the most part. We don't have much information, so whatever you're doing when you're here, please be careful. I am going to try my best to start gathering materials to put the ship together, or to build a new ship, because we're going to need to go home.
All by yourself?
I'm capable, lad. I'll have you when you're here, but I think the best thing for you to do in your exploration right now would be to find materials along the way. We're going to need wood. We're going to need some kind of fibers to make sails and for rope and rigging. We're going to need some kind of adhesive materials to be able to put it all together, whether it be some kind of sap or anything material that we can use to bond things together. We're going to need precious stones to be able to make some of the magical components for the ship, and also a source of magic to be able to power that device.
Can we use the barrier as a source of magic? There's a lot of magic. I mean, even if you get close.
If you can find a way to seal some of that magic into something that we can, like, essentially use as a battery, I'm for that idea. But unless you can break a chunk off of it, I wouldn't know how to draw energy from it right now.
Well, I'm not all that good, like, being in the woods and gathering materials, but if we can find people to talk to, it'll be perfect. I get along very well with people. I was, voted most likely to make a new friend at diplomacy school. So if we can sort of find people, I think I'll shine there. Otherwise, I'll let other people gather materials if possible.
He nods and he says, well, our primary goal is going to need to be to find a way home. So if you find people who can help, wonderful. If you guys can bring materials back, that would also be great. The other thing we have to think about is if that creature is still out on the water, I've no idea how to defeat it in our current state. So finding more allies may be beneficial. But more than that, that's going to be our way home. We have to be able to get past that thing to be able to get back. And regardless of what we build, it's not going to be anything as fortified as what we had. So that will be something to think about as well. As it stands right now, explore, see see if you can investigate more of where we are. Maybe there's some clue to the barrier, or if there's even more people around here. Again, we haven't heard anything from this place in 100 years. We don't know what kind of wildlife is here. We don't know what kind of creatures are out there and whether they are friendly or hostile. So, make every move like it might be your last. Oh, go ahead.
was gonna say I want to investigate these glowing rocks that are out here along the shore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you like move to like starting to investigate them, he pulls out a pipe, but instead of like puffing, he blows, and it blows out a bunch of bubbles. You will see that you have you've got 2 in progress quests right now. You got supply and demand for finding materials, and survival of the fittest. Kill the Shadowfin King, repair the ship, and sail home are your goals.
How are those in the journal?
If you go to the journal tab, yeah, and look at the bottom, you should see quest log, and if you click on that, you'll see your in progress quests.
I don't. I see a thing that says shops,
Oh,
and then
do
a bunch.
you see quest log at the bottom?
No. Are you talking about the journal tab on the right-hand side?
Yes.
Yeah, all the way at the very bottom.
No, mine. Oh my gosh. Okay. Not at the bottom of the list of things, at the bottom of that entire thing.
Yes.
It was being covered by this.
Thumbs up emoji.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, you'll be able to see your active in progress quests there. You, Jesus, walk up and you see so these rocks, very large rocks. You're not quite sure where they would have come from around here because there's not too many things that are made of this stone material as far as you can tell. But looking far enough in the distance, you see that kind of like cavern that you can kind of see the top of. Looks like it might be made of the same kind of stone. The light that, like the blue light that glows from it, appears to be almost like a part of the rock that like is absorbing maybe not magical energy, but rather like solar energy, like the light of the sun, is keeping it aglow.
Okay. So this rock we can use for quest log again. So it wouldn't be a small source of magic. It's from the sun, not from a magical source.
Yeah, you're not getting any kind of not even a faint magical energy from it. You're not sure if maybe it's the proximity to the barrier or just that it doesn't have any magical properties, but you're not kind of getting anything off of it from there.
Can I wheel myself over to the edge of the water?
Yep.
And see if there are any like sea creatures that I can communicate with using Emissary of the Sea to see if maybe they can like gather intel about this Shadowfin King guy. Is that something I can do?
You kind of like reach your hand in, and you feel like there seems to be sea life around here, like some kind of fish. Now the thing about Emissary of the Sea is you can. They understand what you're saying when you reach out and talk, but they don't have like a special ability to be able to understand in return or to be able to like communicate back to you. So you kind of like send out this message. You feel that there is some kind of like aquatic life underneath the water. You don't really get too much back. Like there's an acknowledgement that you've been heard, that you kind of feel more than anything else, but you don't kind of get any kind of physical sign. Nothing, no fish pop up and start talking to you or anything like that. You just kind of get that acknowledgement that you've been heard.
Okay, can I rephrase what I want to ask them then?
Sure.
Can I ask the sea life that if there is anything that would help us defeat the Sea King, can they help us by bringing it to us? That way they don't have to communicate anything. They just have to like do the action of like bringing stuff that would be helpful.
Interesting. I'm going to make note of that. You are casting out a request for aid from the creatures of the sea.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, you get that acknowledgement that you've been heard, but there's no immediate sign. Nothing happens right away, but we'll keep that in mind.
Wait. And then after that, I would like to start rolling towards the cave or not the cave, the rocks to see what's over there.
Like these local rocks over here, or like the ones that you've seen in the far distance?
The ones Jesus went to look at.
Okay, yeah, he was looking at these rocks over here. And same thing, observing these rocks, it looks like they've got like this pretty blue glow. This particular rock is probably about 30 feet tall. And like slopes. And you can see that there's, looks like a reaction to the light of the sun is what is causing this glow.
Am I able to like look around it at all, or are we restricted to just the area we can?
No, you're not. So like looking to the east and west, you're basically looking at where it tapers. You get sand and grass until it just kind of like it goes into open ocean. To the east, to the west, there is a lot more beach. You're looking at probably about, I think it's between you and like where this cave looks like it is probably 11 miles. Hold on, let me look at the map from the ship to here. Zoom in.
And you said there's a big stone statue or something, correct?
In the far distance, it looks like there's some kind of like stone structure. It is a fair, like when I say that you can barely see it, like it is like almost like mirage like it's very blurred for your vision even as far as you can see. You're only really seeing like the tip of it. You're not sure how tall it actually is, but it's clearly large just because of the distance you think it would take to travel to it. You think it like thinking about timing and like knowing like a marching time, especially you, Brunk. The likelihood is that between where you are now at the shipwreck to whatever this structure is probably about a half a day's travel.
I feel like I need to get my morning stretching in and limber up before we get to moving on to our next location. And I will proceed to get up out of my bedroll there, and they start doing exactly that. Upward dog, downward dog. You know, the whole shebang.
Yeah. So Brunk is starting to do his yoga routine. Barnabas is going to walk over to you, Jesus, and he is going to give you a potion. Like he's going to make you drink it there. Like he's just going to like stick it in your mouth and be like, up, 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 drink it now. And
Thank you.
You are going to heal 4d4 plus 4. Restoring 12 health.
perfect. I'm back up to full health. Thank you.
Of course, lad. Couldn't leave you in such disarray.
You saved me from seeing my father again. I don't like that guy.
Your father?
Sorry?
Your father? I'm not your
My
father.
father. No, my father. Last time when I got knocked unconscious, he was begging me to come home. I don't want to go home. That place sucks.
Oh, well. Well, I'm glad we got that sorted out, because I'm definitely not your father.
No, you're not my father.
And if anybody tells you, he like points at everybody, he's like, if anybody tells you that I'm anybody's father, you tell them you've never heard of Barnabas Jones.
Pause my yoga, and I'm like, yes, sir. Surely I'll remember that.
Sorry, Captain Jones, what if they look exactly like you, though?
Nope. Couldn't be me.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I've never heard of who now?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, what if they have some sort of proof or something and they present me with documents that say otherwise?
He leans real close to you. He's like, here's what I want you to do, Erryn. I want you to take their proof, and I want you to set it on fire in front of their faces.
Sure, yeah, I'll do that.
Yes, that's a captain's order.
Okay, I guess I'm not allowed to
Nope.
deny the captain's order.
Yes, exactly.
By
Here,
law
here.
or something?
Yeah. Pulls out some saltwater taffy and just like stuffs it in your mouth. He's like, there, taffy, eat it. And go ahead and give yourself 7 temporary hit points. It's like, yes, taffy for everyone. Taffy for everyone. All right. I'm going to go observe this barrier. Like I said, go take a walk around, see what you can find. Maybe find some better food than these meat sticks that we've had. Because while they're preserved, they're also quite soggy. Some water got in, and the fire's only doing so much. Does anybody know prestidigitation? Maybe we can season things up a bit? No, I knew I should.
I have an herb pot that precipitation.
Oh, can you make this meat stick taste better, boy?
Absolutely. I could use some of my herb pot to do that.
Yeah, he just walks you over to the whole barrel of food. He's like, go nuts.
I could do up to 1 pound of food 3 times a day.
Nice. Grabs like a bundle of them. He's like, do it, boy, please.
So I season the food for everybody.
Yes, everybody. As he like seasons the sticks and he like takes all of them and like his mouth like almost like uncomfortably unhinges as he just shoves them all in his mouth at once.
I still have some of those.
He kind of like a dog that doesn't want to give a bone away. He's just like, ugh. He's like, there's more over there. These are mine. And he burns one of your 3 times per day things, just stealing food that you have flavored. There's still plenty of like food if you guys want to. Like you'll be able to herb those up as well, and you'll be able to take them as rations if you need travel rations. There seems to be enough there for a few days worth of rations, so you'll be able to like grab some and still have some left over for when you get back to camp. assuming he hasn't eaten them all first.
All right, where should we head first? I mean, towards that giant statue, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably where we should head off next.
Definitely seems like a good place to start scoping out.
Perfect. Hold on one second here. I need to... Well, that's not... I need to find a new thing for your party token, but we'll use the old one for now, so that I can show you the big map. And as you travel on this long length of beach heading west towards this strange stone structure, that is where we're going to end session for tonight. This is basically your sneak preview. This is you can zoom out, you can see the whole map, you can speculate on the things that you see. For those at home, you can do the same. This is the last frame that you'll see. You pause this on YouTube, check it out, speculate on what our friends might find in future sessions. It was a great first session of roleplay. Go ahead and add another 5 points to all of your points cards, so everybody should have 20.
I don't think I've got a points card on my character sheet yet.
What? That shouldn't be true. I gave one to everybody. Brunk, why did you get the shaft? Oh wait, I know why. Because I gave it to you, and then your character sheet got reset.
Yup, that's probably what it was.
There we go. The points card. I stole it from somebody who had it adjusted already,
And
so
fully
it's loaded and good to go. So next session, you guys can spend some of your points on charms or bank them, whatever you want to do. For everyone at home, we are not back next weekend. Next weekend is my birthday weekend.
Your birthday.
My birthday is the 18th, which is Thursday, but Ellie...
Mine's 20th, so that's why I asked.
Nice! Happy almost birthday, friend.
Yeah, there you go.
Another Cancer in the group.
Yup.
Yup. Ellie has a couple of days off this week to align with my birthday, so I get a 4-day birthday weekend. So we're just going to be doing some random stuff, and I will not be behind my desk to prep for game and stuff like that. So yeah, we will be back the following week for this. It'll be the same thing for Bards. We'll be doing this weekend, then we'll be off next weekend.
Perfect.
20th and 21st. So we are going to be back at the table for more of Cleaning Crew Season 2 on the 27th. For those at home, be sure to watch the previous episodes, watch Wednesday Games episode. You know, there's plenty there for you to catch up until we're back. And we'll be back with our plucky expedition team to figure out the mysteries of Ethereos. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. I love every single one of you. I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be on Arena and Twitch as we continue our Oops All Bards campaign, Rhymes of the Frost Maiden. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. You have a wonderful night, and we are out of here. Power to the players.